Hello friends, I am Chandana. Today I discuss diplomatic and economic crisis. The greatest diplomatic and economic crisis of the 21st century, April 28, 2026. Today the eyes of the entire world are fixed on two specific locations, St. Petersburg, Russia and the narrow, turbulent waters of the Strait of Hormuz in the Middle East. We are standing at a historic crossroads on the side. We are witnessing the absolute limit of Cold War style brinkmanship between superpowers, on the other, the closure of a single maritime artery is threatening the food security of billions in. In today's deep dive, we will analyze why the high-stakes meeting between Putin and Araghchi has kept world leaders awake, and how the blockade in Hormuz is directly driving the price of the bread or rice on your dinner table to unprecedented highest, the Iran-Russia axis and the 10-point peace proposal. Yesterday, on April 27, a closed-door meeting of immense significance took place in St. Petersburg. On one side of the table was Russian President Putin, on the other, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. The core of this meeting was a 10-point peace proposal presented by Tehran, the foundation of the proposal. Iran has sent a clear message. They are prepared to lift the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. But their conditions are non-negotiable. First, the United States must completely withdraw its naval blockade against Iran. There must a guaranteed unhindered return of Iranian oil to the international market. Putin's stance and the Russian strategy. President Putin has offered his full backing to this proposal for Russia. This is a dual-purpose victory. By supporting Iran, Russia is commanding its influence in the Middle East, a primary power broker. Simultaneously, by keeping the West under pressure, they maintain a stranglehold on global energy and arms markets. Putin has stated in no uncertain terms that Russia will not remain a bystander if any military strike is launched against Iranian territory. Trump red line and American reluctance. In response to Iran's proposal, US President Donald Trump issued a stern reaction earlier this morning. Washington's stance remains rigid to economic concerns and will be granted to Iran without specific verifiable commitments regarding their unclear progress. Why is diplomacy and stalemate? The US administration believes that Iran is using this peace proposal as a smokescreen to buy time, allowing them to advance their nuclear ambitions. We are seeing a direct collisions between Trump's America First policy and Iran's economy of resistance. It is this very friction that has transformed the Strait of Hormuz from a trade route into a potential theater of war. The Strait of Hormuz, a choke point suffocating the global economy. The Strait of Hormuz is not just a waterway. It is the jugular vein of global energy and commodity supplies. At this narrowest, it is only 21 miles wide, and currently it is effectively closed. The current reality. Over 2,000 commercial vessels are currently stranded in the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf. Trapped aboard these ships are more than 2,000 sailors facing an uncertain future, but the crisis extends far beyond the ships themselves, the enemy of times every passing day. Insurance companies are hiking premiums for these vessels by 5 to 10 times. Consequently, the cost of essential goods on every corner of the globe is skyrocketing. From energy crisis of food crisis, a terrifying chain reaction. The common misconception is that a Hormuz blockade only affect oil prices. However, the true catastrophe lies to global food security. How does a fuel shortage translate directly into the food on your plate? The fertilizer catastrophe. Modern agriculture is entirely dependent on fertilizers, the primary raw materials for nitrogen and urea fertilizers in natural gas. The Middle East in the world heartland for both natural gas and fertilizer productions. With the strait closed fertilizer productions, nations cannot receive raw materials and finished fertilizers cannot reach the global market. Flattening session and productions defects. April is the critical planting window for major crops in the northern hemisphere. A shortage of fertilizer during this window means a guaranteed reductions in crop yields by 20% to 30%. This suggests that by the end of 2026, the world will face a massive deficits in rice, wheat and corn. Transport and logistic cost. Moving food from one continent to another requires immense amounts of fuel. With the energy supply in jeopardy, the cost of the freight, both by truck and ship, has doubled. This makes every imported food item increasingly unaffordable for the average citizen. The efforts of a global famine. The UN warning. The warning issued today by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is bone chillies. He stands that if this block is not lifted immediately, nearly 45 million people could face extreme farming by the end of 2026. The impact will be most devastating in Africa and South Asian nations like India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. In densely populated regions, the risk of inflation spiraling into total social collapse is a very real and present danger. Diplomacy or disaster. The world is standing on the edge of a precipice if the St. Petersburg discussion failed to yield results and the Trump administration continues to reject Iran's overtures. Military conflict may become inevitable. The price of that conflict will not be paid on a distant battlefield but at the dinner tables of ordinary families struggling to eat. In the coming days, will diplomacy prevail or will the instability on the Strait of Hormuz push the world into a prolonged era to famine? Only time will tell. If you found this analysis insightful, please like, comment and share this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and support us as we bring you the most critical updates on global affairs. Stay safe, stay healthy and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.